Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. So, like I said in my previous lecture, here I have come up with the process of research exclusively today. So, before beginning, let me tell you that there is no universal procedure or no universal guideline that you have to follow while conducting a research. So अभी जितने भी stages आप देखेंगे, you do not have to strictly adhere to those stages step by step. These stages can also occur simultaneously. And while describing each, I'll tell you how. So मैंने इन stages को आप right side देख पा रहे होंगे थोड़ा condense कर दिया है. Like the first two stages which I'll be telling, I have condensed these two stages into one as research problem identification stage. So ये stage describe करेगा उन स्टेप्स को, उन एक्टिविटीज को जहां पर आप अपनी रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम तक पहुंचेंगे, यानी रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे या डेवलप करेंगे. देन सेकेंड फेज इज प्लानिंग फॉर रिसर्च स्टडी. तो दिस इज द प्लानिंग फेज कि हाउ यूल कंडक्ट द रिसर्च, what methods will you be using, what techniques will you be using. So the second stage would define all these activities. And last but not the least, the third phase, which includes conducting the research and preparing the report. So third stage is the final implementation stage, जहाँ पे आपको research अपनी implement करनी है, execute करनी है. So now talking about the various steps. First one being define research problem. Second is review of literature. Third one is formulation of hypothesis. Fourth one is research design. Fifth one is collection of data. Sixth is analysis of data. And the last one is interpretation and reporting of findings. So these were the various steps involved in the process of research. So now I'll take up each one by one in detail. So the first and the most important step of laying a good foundation for research is identification of the problem. So this is one of the most crucial yet underestimated step of research. So the whole research revolves around this problem only. So it needs ample amount of time to come to a research problem. बहुत time लगता है एक research problem को identify करने में. So before taking up any broad topic or general area of interest, the personal interest and the background knowledge of that area matters. Especially in case of basic, fundamental or academic research. There the personal interest and the background knowledge plays a major role. However, in case of applied research, ये उतना matter नहीं करता because there you undertake the problem on behalf of the organization or the agency you're working for. But in case of basic research, it does matter. Next, always seek literature and other information. सो लास्ट टाइम जैसे हमने पढ़ा एक्सप्लोरेटरी रिसर्च के बारे में, तो वहां पर मैंने आपको बताया था कि एक्सप्लोरेटरी रिसर्च एक्चुअली हेल्प्स यू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम. देयर यू रिव्यू द एग्जिस्टिंग और द अवेलेबल लिटरेचर. सो जितना हो सके यू शुड एक्सप्लोर द ब्रेथ एंड द डेप्थ ऑफ द लिटरेचर. एंड मोर ओवर जितना ज्यादा आप लिटरेचर की स्टडी करेंगे उतना ही आपको हेल्प होगा ये आइडेंटिफाई करने में कि कौन कौन से लेफ्ट ओवर एरियाज हैं, कौन कौन से ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं विच आर येट टू बी एक्सप्लोर्ड, विच आर येट टू बी रिसर्च्ड अबाउट. सो द मोर यू स्टडी लिटरेचर, द मोर आर द चांसेस ऑफ फाइंडिंग द गैप that is existing in the literature, and that will probably help you in coming up with something new into this world of knowledge. Next is choose the right topic. Now choosing the right topic is as important as choosing the right life partner. So always ask this to yourself, that is this topic worthy of researching? Always keep the audience in mind, whether the topic is relevant enough and will serve your audience. So always think that way. So choosing a research topic should always move from general to specific. So as I told you कि अपने पहले general interests को discover करें कि क्या आप चाहते हैं, कि कौन सा ऐसा area है, कौन सा ऐसा field है जिसमें आप research करना चाहते हैं. So find a general or broadened area, then further shorten your area. So this way you will reach a specific problem. Next, frame the problem statement. You have to keep several things in mind before stating a problem. Because statement आपका not only impactful होना चाहिए, but it should very briefly and in specific terms explain what your entire research is all about. Statement frame करना is equally important as to finding out your research problem, because problem statement will actually reflect your research. And this problem statement will actually be the first impression for your audience. So just as we say that first impression is the last impression, so the problem statement should also be written very effectively. And always include the variables which you are going to use in the research. Always identify the variables first. इससे क्या होगा, आपका problem statement vague नहीं लगेगा, आपका problem statement एकदम clear लगेगा as to किन variables का आप study करना चाह रहे हैं, किन variables का relationship आप test करना चाह रहे हैं. And very important, I have put this as a note कि feasibility must be kept in mind. So कोई भी ऐसा topic या problem ना choose करे जो कि practically possible ही ना हो. So choose a problem wisely. So now I'm going to talk about the next step, which is extensive literature review. So although literature review starts much before identifying the problem, as I told you that the steps or the activities overlap with each other. So there is no strict process that you have to follow in general. So now after conducting that exploratory or initial review, again you have to go through the literature concerning the topic which you have chosen. So it's the longest and the never-ending process. Literature review is something that will go about your entire research. आपके पूरे research duration में आपको literature को review continuously करना पड़ेगा. And you have to see the developments which are adding up. It gives the theoretical rationale of the problem being studied. Because you have to study what all research has been done related to your concerned topic in order to provide a background for your research. So जो भी आप research करेंगे, the theoretical background you will be getting from literature review. Here the researcher introduces the works he will be using in his research. So any published sources like journal articles, books, dissertations, technical reports, conference proceedings, newspapers, etc. can become the sources for reviewing the existing work that has been done concerning your topic. Okay, so this point I just discussed. So the next one. So in the process of tracing the intellectual progression of your field, you have to survey, summarize, critically analyze and present the literature in an organized manner. Your job is to compile and summarize everything. But at the same time, आपको ये ध्यान में रखना होगा that you reorganize or reshuffle your literature in such a way that makes sense to your study. तो जब भी कोई आप पुरानी स्टडीज को रिव्यू करके लिखते हैं, अपने लिटरेचर रिव्यू में मेंशन करते हैं, ऑलवेज कीप इन माइंड दैट व्हाटएवर वर्क यू आर साइटिंग इट शुड फॉलो अ वेरी स्मूथ फ्लो. आपको कहीं से भी लिटरेचर उठा करके अपने पेपर में नहीं डालनी है जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट. एंड क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस और इवैल्यूएशन इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इस एक्सटेंसिव लिटरेचर रिव्यू प्रोसेस में यू गो थ्रू अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क्स. सो इट्स ऑलवेज इम्पॉर्टेंट टू क्रिटिकली एनालाइज द वर्क्स. आपको ये फाइंड करना है कि क्या अभी तक नहीं हुआ है या फिर अगर हुआ है तो किस तरीके से नहीं हुआ है. सो यू हैव टू फाइंड द गैप्स और द लूप होल्स इन द एग्जिस्टिंग स्टडीज, नॉट क्रिटिसाइजिंग देम स्ट्रेट अवे बट finding it in a very sophisticated way. So once you identify those spaces, you frame the research questions. So this stage ends up with formulating the research questions. So I hope you must have understood now. So coming on to the next topic, which is hypothesis development. So hypothesis denotes a tentative prediction or explanation to the research question that has not yet been tested. So मैंने अपने लास्ट वीडियो लेक्चर में भी इसको बहुत ब्रीफली डिफाइन किया था that it is a probable assumption which you make before conducting your research. So hypothesis should be very specific because at the time of executing your research you are going to test this hypothesis only. अभी हमने लास्ट स्टेप में ही पढ़ा दैट रिसर्च क्वेश्चन हम डिफाइन करते हैं बाय द एंड ऑफ रिव्यूइंग आवर लिटरेचर. सो अब इसी रिसर्च क्वेश्चन का एक प्रोबेबल आंसर, एक प्रोबेबल सोल्यूशन रिसर्चर दे देता है बिफोर कंडक्टिंग द एक्चुअल रिसर्च. So it's a tentative prediction and it has to be tested. It has not yet been tested. अभी आपने assumption किया है and then you will be testing it in the later steps. It proposes some expected relationship between two or more variables. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी एक्सप्लेन दिस. सो जो आपके डिफाइंड वेरिएबल्स होते हैं आपकी रिसर्च में, जो कि आप पहले ही आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं एट द टाइम ऑफ प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन, and your research study basically aims to identify whether there is any relationship existing between the variables or not, and if existing, then it is of what nature. Are they positively related to each other or negatively related to each other? So you identify such relationships at the later stage of your research when you actually collect the data and analyze it. So before collecting and analyzing, what you do is you propose an expected relationship. That is, for example, if you say that if x increases, then y is also increasing. So it is a probable expectation which you are having with regard to the relationship of the variables which you are proposing beforehand. And इसी assumption को आप test करते हैं with the help of empirical data when you are practically conducting your research and analyzing the results. So it is then when you are validating your hypothesis. So it is always the empirical data which is helping to support or reject the hypothesis. Okay. So next, one thing you need to remember, that hypothesis is not a rough guess. It must be based on existing theories and knowledge and should be testable. So again, it should be feasible enough to be tested. It should be testable and it's not a rough guess. आप ऐसे ही abruptly कुछ guess करके नहीं propose कर सकते as hypothesis. So let's call it an educated guess because there is some logic backed behind formulating a hypothesis. And this guess could be as a result of examination of previous literature or data or records which you have studied, or it can be as a result of some personal investigation which you have conducted as like a preliminary research or something. So like this we develop a hypothesis. I would also like to share some more points on hypothesis development, which is it starts with a research question. So as I just discussed that it's a probable solution for a research question. It may take the form of a cause and effect statement. So like I previously mentioned, it proposes an expected relationship between the variables. So if x then y kind of statements can be formed. Because variables की जहाँ अगर हम बात करें तो दो तरीके के variables होते हैं, independent and dependent. So talking about if x then y, then here x will be an independent variable whereas y will be an dependent variable. So an expected relationship between the independent and dependent variables can be proposed with the help of hypothesis. However, if there is no discernible relationship between the two variables, they are said to be unrelated or to have a null relationship. So when I'll be taking a separate lecture on hypothesis, then I'll be telling you about the various types of hypotheses which are there, and one of which being the null hypothesis. So null hypothesis basically states that there is no relationship existing between the two variables. Changing one will not affect the value of the other variable. So next I have shared one example of developing a hypothesis which starts with a research question. So research question यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है? Can flexible work arrangements improve the job satisfaction? So here the two variables are flexible work arrangements and job satisfaction. So suppose your research is concerning these two variables. So the research question can be something like this, that can flexible work arrangements improve the job satisfaction? So this is the hypothesis which you can make, that employees who have flexible working hours will report greater job satisfaction than employees who work for fixed hours. So here can you see the relationship which has been assumed, that employees who have flexible working hours will report a greater job satisfaction. That means that flexibility in the working hours is positively affecting the job satisfaction. And it's just a guess right now. It needs to be tested further. So यहाँ अभी assume किया है that greater the flexibility, the greater is the job satisfaction. So ये assume किया गया है इस hypothesis में. Similarly अभी मैंने आपको बताया that if there is no relationship between the variables, then the null hypothesis will stand true. So null hypothesis is stating that there is no relationship between the working hour flexibility and the job satisfaction. So I hope अब आपको थोड़ा clear हुआ होगा regarding hypothesis development stage. And next we'll move on to the research design. Now research design is the plan of action. कैसे वो रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होगी उसका एक कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइजेशन होता है रिसर्च डिजाइन. सो इट्स अ स्ट्रैटेजी और अ ब्लूप्रिंट ऑफ रिसर्च. It's a conceptual framework or outline of research methods and techniques chosen by a researcher for collection, measurement and analysis of data. So जो भी अभी आपका next अभी आप phase पढ़ेंगे execution phase of research, उसमें जो भी techniques और methods use होनी है, right from which type of data will you be collecting, what methods and instruments you are going to use to collect that data, and after that how you will analyze the data. So all this is pre-decided in research design. So मैंने starting में ही जैसे आपको 3 condensed phases बताए थे. So research design is part of the planning phase. And यहाँ पर आपको सब कुछ advance में plan कर लेना है, एक structural framework create कर देना है so that the execution phase happens smoothly. So the research design must be specific and it must be very very flexible because we are yet to launch it. But अगर हमें actual field में कुछ circumstances या situations की वजह से कुछ differences मिले, we can easily change our design according to that. So research design aims at integrating the various components of the study. So depending upon the type of research which you are going to undertake, the research design will accordingly plan the various components of the study, like the type of data, the methods for collecting and analyzing that data, the timeline and the cost associated, the participants and the sources, and the sample design. So these are few of the components of research design which I have stated. So basically the researcher lays down a structure for all of these and may adjust these at the time of implementation. So all the components I'll be discussing separately in separate lectures. So due to constraint of time, मैंने अभी बस एक overview दे दिया है. So coming on to the next step of research process, which is collection of data. तो यहाँ से अब हमारी research process का implementation phase start होता है. So now for the purpose of your research study, you need to collect the data. Collection of the data helps in providing the relevant information needed to answer the research question. So till now, everything that was being done was for this information. So this data can be anything depending on the purpose of your study. So it can be primary data or secondary data. So in primary data, you collect the first-hand information. That is, you collect the raw data from the respondents. Whereas in case of secondary data, you seek the available literature or the available studies which are existing of others. So यहाँ पर जब हम data बोल रहे हैं तो data can be both primary or secondary data. Next, its accuracy and quality is important for maintaining the integrity of research. So collection of data should be in a righteous manner and आपको quality and accuracy का ध्यान रखना है. And you should collect authentic and genuine data so that it contributes in validating your research. Because if at this stage you compromise with the data accuracy and quality, then your results would also differ because the analysis would be based on this data only. And this may further hamper in generalization of your results. So this point I have already stated that the data can be in any form, primary or secondary. So there are certain methods, tools or instruments which you'll be requiring in order to collect the data. It can be direct observation, interviews, questionnaires, focus group discussion, case study method or experimental method. So these methods can help you in gathering or collecting the data. Next we move on to analysis or interpretation of the data. So this stage is very very important. In fact आपने पूरी research की ही इस stage के लिए थी. So आपकी research study के जो भी beneficiaries होंगे would be actually focusing on this data analysis and interpretation of your research. Because जो raw data होता है ना उसका अपने में कोई significance नहीं होता. Nobody is interested in the raw data which you have collected. When you convert this raw data into some useful information, now that information is what is important. So the raw data needs to be edited, tabulated and analyzed to find the results and to interpret them. So firstly, you need to filter out the unnecessary data that you have gathered. You try to detect whether there are any errors or omissions, and you try to correct them as much as possible. And also you check the accuracy and the consistency of the data. So outliners, if any, are removed, and then the data is tabulated. That is, the data is converted into a tabular or a table form in the form of rows and columns. And then comes the analysis part. So the raw data is converted into useful information, because raw data in itself is of no use. It is only when we refine and transform the data into a useful information, then it will become suitable for analysis. Next point is that the statistical techniques like measures of central tendency, dispersion, correlation, regression, cluster analysis, factor analysis, etc. are used to analyze the data collected. So there are various descriptive and inferential statistical techniques which you use to analyze the data, and I'll be discussing each and every technique in detail in the coming videos. Right now, you just need to know that there are various statistical techniques that you have to apply to interpret or analyze the data. Then after adoption of the statistical tools and techniques, the hypothesis is finally tested. So I told you enough about hypothesis development. Now we reach on to the stage of hypothesis testing. Finally, जो probable assumption आपने propose किया था, वो आप test करेंगे that whether the assumption stands true or false. So basically hypothesis testing में आप क्या करते हैं? You see the difference between the statistical and the parametric value and see whether the difference between the two is significant or not. And likewise, it will either be accepted or rejected. And then the researcher will report his findings. So with this, I wrap up this lesson. And अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो उसे लाइक और शेयर ज़रूर करें. आप अपने सारे फ्रेंड्स को जो भी यूजीसी नेट की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं या करना चाहते हैं, आप सबको ये वीडियो शेयर कर सकते हैं. And also comment if you have any queries, any doubts, or if you just want to give a feedback. आप अपना फीडबैक दीजिए कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा. So मिलती हूँ आपसे अब नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy.